The AI genie is out the bottle and it's not going back in. And on this day 43 of 100 days of ServiceNow, we are in for a treat. And let me tell you why. We have ServiceNow architect Tyler Hoge and Associate Vice President of Professional Services at GlideFast, Karl, join us on the stream to talk about their generative AI innovation called AgileGenius. I'm excited to have them here, and I'm excited that you're here. And by the way, if you are here, let me know that you're here. Leave comments, drop some blue hearts, drop some megaphones, some air horns. I want to know that you're here, and if you're joining me on the replay, I would love for you to do the same. So without further ado, welcome Tyler Hoge and Karl to the stream. So good to have you here. Man, this has been a long time coming, and I am delighted to get into some things, especially with generative AI. Generative AI is top of mind, tip of tongue. It was talked about at great lengths during Knowledge 2023 at Vegas this year, and so I'm excited to hear what GlideFast is doing to bring, perhaps I'm thinking maybe it's the first innovation from a partner to the market in the ServiceNow ecosystem, and what this means for our customers. That's a mouthful, so let's get into some things. So welcome you both to the stream.
Thanks, Callie. Good to be here.
Thank you. Yep.
Right on, right on. Okay, so first of all, tell me, Brett, what problem is AgileGenius solving for?
So AgileGenius was created to solve the problem of spending tedious time on generating projects, generating themes and epics and stories. We spend a lot of time working with customers to get requirements and then feed that back into ServiceNow and using an agile methodology. But it becomes a repetitive process over time. You go into the native view and you click new project, and then you go and create new themes and new epics and new stories and everything else. And we just thought, there's got to be a better way to do this. There's got to be a quicker way to get time to value for our customers inside these projects and not do the minute details in the day-to-day of your project management experience, especially with our business process consultants.
Yeah, that excites me to hear that, Brett. And the reason why is because one of the things that ServiceNow is known for is helping to eliminate those repetitive, redundant processes so that we can get, go-to-market value, right away. So I'm excited to hear about that. I'm curious, Tyler, how did AgileGenius come about?
Yeah, so in about the I think January, February timeframe, OpenAI came out with an API that allowed us to hook into their system and do programmatical calls. I decided I think I should try to hook that up to ServiceNow, see what it can do, have some fun with it, mess around. I built this pretty cool application for just a content generation for another topic. However, coming back and working in GlideFast, I'm actually part of the GCU, or GlideFast Consulting University, and we were going through mock implementations, and it was one of those scenarios to where I needed to hand write out a bunch of stories and epics and themes. And one of the things that I struggle with, even as an architect, is getting that content into that application. And I decided, I have this content generation ability through OpenAI and GPT that I thought I might as well try to see if I can start generating this content for students to go through mock implementations and actually have content that is mirrored to real world scenarios, as opposed to just kind of me making it up and not really getting that value add that you can get when you're involved in something that is a little bit bigger than just here's one piece of functionality we want to add.
Yeah, love that. You mentioned GCU. Talk to folks, or tell us a little bit about what that is for folks who don't know.
Yeah, so GCU, or GlideFast Consulting University, was put together to start to train people into how to use ServiceNow. And these individuals don't necessarily come from a coding background or from an IT world, and we train them to use ServiceNow and get them up to speed and be pretty much senior TCs at the end of 2 years when they finally get through that program. And we do this 3-month crash course where they get their certifications. And at that point, they're ready to go in front of a customer and do good work. So it's just kind of mainly just training individuals to work inside of ServiceNow.
Right on. I love the whole idea of like how innovation comes from basically scratching your own itch. You needed to do something and you wanted to figure out a way, how can we do this faster? How can we do this better? So it's exciting to hear like how, to see that evolution and actually take place and how it actually takes place within GlideFast. Perhaps you can talk to me a little bit at a high level of how AgileGenius works.
Yeah, so it essentially starts from a product. In this case, we'll just use the example of ITSM or ITOM. And as you start to go through there, it builds themes off of the product. And you start to go through. And for ITOM, it's discovery, event management, service management, or service mapping, and stuff like that. And it goes through and generates that from the top down. And you start to build out epics and you start to build out stories. And as you're going through, you're able to review the content, add additional requirements, and kind of guide it into the content area that you want. If there's a space that you're not working on, you don't have to generate that content, but it really allows you to start small and grow big, as opposed to getting a large dump of stories and say,
Yeah.
okay, we need to review these and pare them down.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit, and let's go back because you talked about epic themes and stories. When a customer comes on board with GlideFast, part of the early stage is creating these scenarios. Talk to me about what that looks like, and maybe explain rather what epic themes and stories are for maybe a CIO out there who wants to know a little bit more about what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so the product is the very high level, the highest level, and I'll just use ITSM to where that's the product. And the themes in this case would be stuff like incident management, problem management, service request, knowledge, change, etc. And as you start to go in, it could be like incident management, incident creation, incident assignment, incident categorization, and then there's stories which allow you to say, how are we going to do incident creation? Is that through a portal? Is that through a service request? And that type of stuff, to where it does start at that high level. And in Agile, it starts with themes and epics. There is the ability for like the idea of a feature where that's more of an epic, to where this is the idea of features and functionality that we want. And then you have the individual stories that break out and how to accomplish that.
Right on, right on. Brett, now I'm sure there's going to be a lot of demand for this in terms, especially because of all the value that Agile Genius will be able to provide. Do you anticipate that it will be available in the ServiceNow store?
Yeah, so the initial phase that we're in right now with AgileGenius is inside our own instance and ecosystem at GlideFast. We are looking at doing or actually in progress right now of creating a phase 2 approach for AgileGenius, which would have more of an agent approach that lives in that store and would allow a customer's instance to connect to GlideFast. So we would be able to have not only our BPCs and our engagement managers push data down to the customer, but getting to that point where the customer can interact and push a button and say, oh, I want to receive that back. And they're using us as more of that bridge based on our own internal development that we've done to communicate with OpenAI and their technology.
Hearing you say that makes me think about the time saving aspect of this a little bit differently here, because I know that a lot of times, is trying to get people in the same room or trying to get people to give you the information that you need to get this project up and running and onto the next phase can take a bit of time. But now you're talking about bringing in this piece of technology in AgileGenius, using OpenAI to help generate these epic themes and stories. And now you're also talking about this second layer of having it available within the ServiceNow store to kind of manage that communication. Am I understanding this correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, what we're looking to aim for is have more meaningful conversations with our customers. Go industry specific with our customers and talk about what are your pain points? How can we help you? What keeps you up at night? And curtailing those conversations from a business process consultant perspective, and then just click a button and get back to the conversations, right? So
Yeah.
we don't have to take that step away for an hour, a day, a week, whatever it might be. So that's really the end goal, is to be more engaged with our customers and help them solve their pain points.
Yeah, love it, love it. Now, I understand that it is built on GPT-4. What does that mean for it to be built using that technology? Tyler, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, so essentially it's just the difference between GPT 3.5 and GPT 4 is more along the lines of capability and a little bit in how correct it ends up being. to where GPT 3.5, there's sometimes errors, mistakes. It may respond with something that you don't quite want and need to regenerate it constantly, where GPT-4 gets it in the correct area more often than GPT-3, and actually something that's usable and makes sense.
Right on.
So it is definitely more robust. It provides better content, and that it just makes more sense when you get it in front of an individual.
As future GPT iterations come about, will you be able to use those in place of 4.0?
Yeah, so as the technology grows and expands, we are always able to adapt and add new abilities and functionality, especially with OpenAI and how it progresses into the future. Anything new, we will definitely look to be adding in, especially all of the stuff that they're continuously rolling out for features and functionality for that.
Now, how are you thinking about, because I know with OpenAI, one of the things that has been a concern that I've heard repeatedly is protection of proprietary information and securing insights from one customer to another. Brett, can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. From the business side of things, all of our employees at GlideFast, if they're going to be using this technology, we have an AI policy that they have to adhere to. We're not sending any customer data through this process. Any sort of requirements are more so around, this is what I need to accomplish, not so much IP addresses or proprietary type information. That's number one on protecting that sort of data for AgileGenius piece of things. The second thing is we want to get approval from our customers. We want sign off from our customers. So if customers don't want us to utilize this technology and they say, no, keep us out of there, then we respect their wishes and we don't do it. And we're not selling any data or anything from that side of things. So we have our own internal business protections that we adhere to be responsible employees and steward of their data.
Right on, right on. Now, here's something that has come up, and I even left a poll on my LinkedIn profile, and I'm curious your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on AgileGenius and other technologies that you will be innovating with AI, eliminating roles within the ecosystem? Perhaps you could talk a bit about this, Brett.
Yeah. So as far as eliminating roles with AgileGenius, we're looking to enhance our employees. We want our employees to do more meaningful work, get rid of the menial tasks, get out of just typing up stories as an admin. I need to be able to see a report that does this, so that we would rather let the machines, we'd rather let OpenAI handle that piece of the work so they can focus on those meaning conversations and elevate themselves. And at the end of the day, if we're able to complete a project that's quicker and quicker to go live and quicker to value, then those people can go on to other meaningful projects. Yeah. So we're not looking at removing anybody. We're more looking at enabling them to do more meaningful work. And again, don't do those manual type tasks that are out there.
Yeah, and the kind of the main goal is to engage better and have that higher quality engagement with the customer. I know the standard with workshops was you had an all-day workshop, sometimes multiple-day workshops, and you'd go back to the hotel room and you'd just be typing out stories, and you would lose a lot of information between that workshop and actually putting that story information down, because there is that mindset of, I still need to translate this into agile artifacts to give to my team to do. Whereas if you were able to sit down, have a conversation with that customer, write down the meaningful requirements without having to worry about, oh, I've got to write 15 stories around this topic now. I can actually dig deeper, ask those whys, get to the root cause, as opposed to trying to figure out how the story architecture is going to end up.
Love it. And Tyler, when do you expect AgileGenius to finally come to market?
So internally, we are using it right now. That is something that we're kind of kicking the tires, making sure everything is all good and it's provided quality that we expect. And I think in the next couple of weeks, we're actually looking to turn it on and for customer availability.
Right on. And finally, and Tyler or Brett, either of you can take this. What do you see in the next iteration of AgileGenius?
Yeah, so initially, like Brett said, we are in a kind of a very kind of copy and paste, get the generation and get it to the customer, where we're looking to turn on that store app of having that agent in the customer's instance to be able to connect up to our application, as well as being able to provide more interaction from the customer side. So that's the kind of the next step, is to be able to control a lot of this from that agent application and in the customer's instance, and allow them to utilize a lot of the technology that we use at GlideFast.
Yeah, this is an exciting time to be in the ServiceNow ecosystem. Bravo to you for being the first partner to bring generative AI product to market. That's phenomenal, and it's really phenomenal what this means for our customers and even for the depth of work that our employees will be able to provide. So I want to thank you, Karl, Associate Vice President of Professional Services at GlideFast, and Tyler Hoge, ServiceNow Architect. I am so pleased to have you both joining me in the stream, and I will see you all next time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Callie.
Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. So listen, will generative AI amplify human creativity and customers' outcomes or stifle them? What about jobs within the ecosystem? Do you see them harming or helping job creation in the ecosystem? Well, these are the pressing issues that we are facing right now. And my 2 cents, my perspective is that right now is the best time to be within the ServiceNow ecosystem. Whether you are a customer looking for a digital transformation, or whether you're a job seeker or someone who's already employed in the ecosystem, this means that you'll be able to do more meaningful work. In terms of the customer side, right now, coming on board for your digital transformation means that you will be taking advantage of the height of technology. Now, obviously, technology improves year after year. So what do I mean by the height of technology? Where we were just 2 years ago, we have exponentially grown far, far, far away from that. So if you're coming on board for your digital evolution right now, you can expect to get some massive gains and be ahead of your pack. I'm excited to be a part of this ecosystem, and I'm excited to see what's next. So, final words here. Be kind and stay curious, and I will see you on the next one. Let's go.